Aren't you just tired of people talking that our generation is cooked and that we have no luck and the system is just rigged and everything is working against us? And how in YouTube there's a lot of videos of young people just struggling to, you know, get a family, um, buy a house, do well financially in school and all those things. I was tired too, but today I want to tell the other side of the story. I just want to share some news with you. I've just passed the NCLEX. Hopefully you can see it. And today I'm a registered nurse. I'm 31 years old, and I was born in the Dominican Republic. I came to this country when I was 21, and I've been here for 10 years. And I'm very grateful for having the opportunity of living here. And I took the opportunity to do something great. And I hope my example and my story can help you um, just change your life around and do things that will put you in a better position in the future. But first of all, I wanted to read this quote that I love so much by Alex Hormozi. He is a business influencer, which is big on aphorisms. I love aphorisms. I love philosophy, and I just love great speakers. English is not my first language, so please bear with me. I'm going to be repeating words over again for better pronunciation, but as with anything, practice makes perfect. So the quote goes like this. It says, "You don't become confident by shouting affirmations in the mirror, but by having a stack of the undeniable proof that you are who you say you are. Outwork your self-doubt." And to me, that is so true. You need evidence that you are who you say you are, and everyone starts at zero, if that makes sense. Whatever you want to pursue, whatever you want to put effort in, go for it, and you can just switch things around. Like I said, I came here 10 years ago, and just like every immigrant, I wasted a long time trying to adapt to the system, get to know the U.S. system, um, the capitalist system that is installed in this country. I live in New York, and I've done pretty well for myself. I've done pretty well for myself. I'm sorry. I live on my own. I've been living on my own for the majority of time. Big shout out for my cousin and his wife for taking me in for the first year at their home. And just after that, I was independent for the most part. And I'm glad that I came here being bilingual. I know Spanish too, and that's my main language. And I was able to have the maturity of recognizing that the majority of immigrants come here and they just work 20, 30 years and they have nothing to show for it. The majority of people do not invest in the stock market or their 401ks and have a nest egg for their elderly years. And just imagine how behind, how would that translate to the Hispanic and the Latino people here in the U.S. if the majority of people don't invest? We invest way less. So we need to do better in that aspect. But sharing a little bit of my story, I worked many jobs throughout my stay in here, and once I fell in love with fitness, that's when I came up with the idea of pursuing my career in healthcare. Now, why nursing? Nursing. I wanted to be a doctor, but like I said, I'm 31 years old, and being a doctor or becoming a doctor takes a long time. And yes, I can do nursing to MD, but I found out that nurses do specialize in this country, and you can get your doctorate degree and in anesthesia, which is the field of medicine that I love, that I that I that I really like. Um, and it's a shorter career overall. There are many states that you can practice independently as a nurse anesthetist, and the money's right. The money's right there, just like with anesthesiology as a medical doctor. Um, Not to take away from their position in healthcare, they are the upper level. But I just didn't want that for me because I didn't have the time. I just couldn't do it. So now that I'm a nurse, I spent 4 years. I went to community college and I got my associate's degree, and right now I'm just working towards my bachelor's. You just need your associate's degree in order to sit for the anklets, which is um, the attempt to get the license as a nurse. And now the goal is to get into the ICU. When I was young, I was a I was an obese kid, a fat kid. I had man tits that people just grabbed, like, at school. I used to get bullied. I used to being laughed at and joked at, and I'm thankful for all those years because that just taught me to be resilient, on, and use it as a fuel to turn things around and just go to the opposite side of things. Um, and right now, I just love the gym. I just love to train. I just love to stay healthy. Um, what I care the most is to be healthy because I was a pre-diabetic kid at one point, and I do value what it is to feel good. You know, and I was a pre-diabetic being so young, like a young teenager or a young adult. I was probably like around 16 years old when I was a pre-diabetic. So that's very bad. And I fell in love with physiology. I just love the human body. I just love biology in general, but how the human body works and how you can induce fat loss and how these hormones work around getting the fat out of your cells and put it on for use, to use for energy, and so you can just lose it, and over time you just look different, and it's just a magical thing in my head that happens, and I just wanted to find out how it works, and that's how I fell in love with physiology. So then, peeling the layers of physiology, I ended up finding out about medicine and how doctors study and nurses study anatomy and physiology and all those things. And I was like, you know what? If I love this, let me put this into use to help people. And that was the decision that I made. And I do think that nursing is a very respectable profession, and we do a lot. When they said that nurses are the backbone of the hospitals, I do think that's true. Um, Not to take any credit from the doctors and the other staff, um, that we all, but I'm just talking about specifically about nursing because that's my career. But you guys also have your own credit on what you do, and you are part of a team that work and together to have the best possible outcome, which is patient care, and good outcomes when it comes to um, you know making patients feel better or get better or just cure any type of disease that might come up through a hospital door. Having said that, it was tough. My process during nursing school, I was alone. I lost relationships. I lost time with friends and family. I was just working full time the whole entire time. I was doing overtime. I was working 48 hours a week throughout the whole journey. We start with the prerequisite classes, which are your anatomy, physiology, and microbiology, and all those things. And then you just transition into nursing school after you're done with those, and you have a good foundation of the human body and concepts of pharmacology and psychology and many other classes that come up together and give you the foundation in order to take the nursing classes when they come up. It was tough. My schedule just looked like gym, school, work, gym, school, work every day for years. I just finished nursing school last semester, the fall of 2025. I was pinned on December 19th. I'm very grateful for my senior professors and the the way that they teach, the way that they care about their students, and all the effort that they put to transfer all they know and all the experience that they had being a nurse for 20, 25, 30 years, being so specialized in their area that they know um, anything and everything of the specialty so well. It's just like I had this professor. She is specialized in maternity and OB, and she's just amazing, And it's just great how you combine the knowledge and the love for teaching, and you just put it together, and you just do amazing work at transferring knowledge to another human being. And to me, that's just amazing. Um, During the prerequisites and during the nursing school itself, I worked full time, like I said, and I was able. I'm grateful that I was able to support myself financially. Like I said, I live in New York, and over here things are way more expensive than anywhere else in comparison. But it is not impossible. I do always say that the street, the hedonism, the party, and you know indulging in things that are just pure hedonism, which is pleasure, are always going to be there. But in order for you to create something meaningful, there's always going to be a sacrifice. As lame as it sounds, it's just the way it is. There's no way around that. If you come from nothing, you have to build up and sacrifice. I didn't have anybody by myself, and living with me, but I had support. I have family support and things like that. But like I said, I lost relationships on the way because I couldn't sustain them because I didn't have time. And it's hard when the other person does not understand what you're going through, or does not want to support you and be part of your process, and that's completely okay. And the only way that I will say that you can have a solution for that problem is just deal with people that like you. And this phrase I heard from a YouTuber. He's so funny. His name is Heck Speaks. He always talks about dating, how modern dating is cooked and things are just like sideways, and it is not what it used to be, and it's so true. But the dating market is crazy. But it just boils down to that: deal with people that like you, because the people that like you are going to make time for you. People that like you are going to be there for you. The people that like you are not going to um, they're not going to require you to have them, give them expensive things or expensive dates, or a lot of resources out of yourself in order for them to like you and be there for you. They would eat on the floor if they really like you, genuinely like you. They would eat at the floor, with you, and they would just want to see you, even if it's just sitting down and not sharing a dinner or something. It's just to see you, just to speak to you and be there for you. And that's so true. then that's the way it's supposed to be. Find people or be around more people that do that and that are like that. And I had to learn that the hard way. I used to be a simp, you know, the modern term that they use for men that just buy women attention, women's attention through like gifts and things like that, and not necessarily their personality. So I've been guilty of that, and I'm an ex simp. I don't do that anymore. But I've been there. I've had my fair of that, a fair share of that. Um, so that's dating, and that's nursing school. Nursing school is gonna kick your butt. It's really hard. It's the hardest thing I've done. Harder than being disciplined at the gym. I would say I have a pretty decent physique, and I just think nursing school is just way harder than I can go to the gym all day and just train, exercise, and it comes out more easy for me compared to nursing school. But it's a beautiful feeling to have accomplished and have come so far, and have completed the journey, and now being able to contribute my little grain of salt to better society through caring for the sick. Um, I would encourage anybody to just follow the dreams, especially if you live in the United States. You are very, very much privileged. Um, you have so many advantages compared to the rest of the world. I come from a third world country, a little island called Dominican Republic. Some of you might have heard of Punta Cana, which is like a country inside the country. And Punta Cana is not the reality of the Dominican Republic. Those that have met or have seen what the outside of Punta Cana, they are gonna know. They know what it is, how it really is over there, and how poor people are in resources and education and all those things. Um, Now that I'm a nurse, I can you can do pretty well for yourself financially as a nurse overall. But in my country, you can be a doctor, but that doesn't necessarily translate to you doing well financially, and that sucks, because over there's no motivation to go to school. Over here, that's another story. You can go to school, you can become a doctor and a lawyer, a nurse. You can specialize as a nurse and do pretty well for yourself. And that's why I say that you need to be grateful and feel good that you live in a first world country, pretty much. I don't take that for granted, and many more things will come in the future. This is just a little video that I wanted to make, um, just as to show us, the opposite side of what's being ventilated in the social media about how things are bad and how bad the economy is and how people are struggling and this and that. And I do understand that um, that's real. I understand that's real, but at the same time, it doesn't necessarily have to stay that way. And you always have to look in the bright side. Um, as lame as it sounds, you always have to be optimistic and look on the bright side, like I said. And I call myself a optimistic pessimistic or pessimistic optimistic. Um, I know the reality of things, but I also just find the positive on everything. And if you see life that way, I do think it's better, because I do have a low self esteem, still from my childhood, and it's something that I battle every single day. And depending on the day, I can feel like I'm on top of the world, and or I can feel that I am biggest loser in the world. And that's a big dichotomy, and but it's just part of my personality, and I do think that my insecurities have been a lot of have been a lot a lot of help for my success, whether it's a big success, small success. It's all relative. Um, it all depends on what you want for your life. And like I said, I just want to help people and through nursing, and that's why I chose this career. More videos are coming soon in the future. This is just the start of sharing a little bit about me. And if you have any questions, let me know in the comments. I'll be reading all of them. And hopefully, my story just inspired somebody that it's out there, on the negative side, that things are possible and you can just do things. You can just do things. See you on the next one. Thanks for watching.